As I am not sure how to tell you this yet, but I want to marry you. I want forever with you. Just take a moment with that because those words carry a tremendous amount of weight. That is not a casual feeling to want forever with a person. That is something else entirely. That is a decision made somewhere quiet and certain inside that this person is the one not for right now, not for a season, but for real, for good, for the long and beautiful version of life together. That kind of love, the grounded and certain kind, the kind that doesn't need an audience. It just knows that is the energy we are stepping into today. And I feel like the cards have a lot to say about it. Because whether this surprises you completely or you felt something like this quietly building for a while. Now, the energy here is very real. This person, whoever they are to you, has been sitting with something heavy and something truly big. They have been carrying this feeling around, turning it over, wondering how and when and where to finally say it. The certainty is already there, the emotion is already there, but the words, those are still finding their way out. That tension, that beautiful and aching tension between knowing what you feel and not quite knowing how to say it out loud, that is where we are. So let's see what the cards are showing, where everything is sitting right now and what is actually moving beneath the surface. Here is the first card, and right away, I am feeling this deep sense of emotional anchoring and quiet arrival. This is the Four of Wands, and it speaks to celebration, to homecoming, to that feeling of finally being exactly where you belong. I feel like this card really is showing the very foundation of what this person is carrying toward you right now. There is this sense of we have built something real here, something worth protecting, something I really don't want to lose. The Four of Wands doesn't show up lightly. It comes in when the heart has already quietly made its choice. It comes in when this person looks at you and feels somewhere underneath everything else, like they have already decided. Like the answer was already yes, long before they even found the words to say it out loud. There is a real stability here, a real warmth, the kind that doesn't shake easily, the kind that has been tested and held. The next card here is the Ace of Cups, and this one is all about emotional new beginnings, a fresh and open wave of feeling. I feel like it is coming through in a really layered way though, because this is not a brand new connection at all. This is a renewal, a deepening, a moment where the love that already exists between you is choosing to go even further than before. The Ace of Cups is like the heart saying, yes, I am ready. Yes, I want more. Yes, I want all of this. And then some, it is the emotional cup filling all the way up and spilling over. And it is pointing directly at this person's feelings for you. What this card is telling me is that something opened up inside of them at some point that they haven't been able to close back up. They may have tried to keep things manageable to not let it go too deep, but it went deep anyway without asking permission. The next card pulling through here is the Ten of Pentacles. And this one, wow, this one is really saying something. Because the Ten of Pentacles is the legacy card. It is the card of permanence, of building something that truly lasts. It is the card that says, I don't just want this moment, I want the whole life, I want the whole picture with you. I feel like this card honestly is sitting right at the center of what this person has been quietly imagining when they think about you. They have been picturing a future that includes you not just today, not just next year, but all the way out into the distance. That is not something you do with a person you feel casual about. That is not something you do unless something very real is there. So what we are seeing in this opening energy taken all together is a love that has been quietly building into something permanent. This person is feeling this pull, this gravity toward you that they honestly cannot fully explain, even to themselves. They know what they feel, they are certain about it, they just don't quite know how to bring it all the way across yet. The love is real, the intention is real, and the depth of it, even at this early stage of the reading, is already very clear. The cards right out of the gate are absolutely confirming something significant is here. This is not wishful thinking. This is not energy in the air. This is a love that has already made its choice. Let's continue and see what is on your side. Now let's move forward and see what is coming through. Now this part of the reading is all about you, what you are feeling, what you have been carrying, what is alive on your side. Because in a reading like this, it matters deeply. What is actually happening inside of you within this connection? Here is the first card for your energy, and I am getting the Two of Cups right away. And it is speaking volumes. The Two of Cups is the card of deep mutual recognition. The card that says, I see you and I am choosing you. I feel like this card is telling me that you already sense something significant between the two of you. There's an awareness inside of you, a knowing that this connection is not like the ones you have had before. It has a different weight to it, a different texture, the kind that settles into your bones rather than just sitting on the surface. I feel like you have felt this for a while now. This pull, this sense of this person is important to me in a way I can't explain. The Two of Cups is confirming that what you feel is real and that it is more mutual than you may even realize yet. The next card here is the Moon, and this one is really interesting for what it is showing on your side of things. Because the Moon is all about what lives beneath the surface, the feelings you haven't fully allowed yourself to look at directly. I feel like there is a part of you that has been almost afraid to let yourself want this too much. Like if you admitted fully and completely how deeply you feel about this person, it would make you vulnerable in a way that feels risky. So there has been this quiet negotiation happening inside of you, this back and forth between your heart and your caution. Your heart saying, I want this, I want all of it, and something else saying, but what if it doesn't go the way I hope? The Moon doesn't show up to scare you, it shows up to illuminate what you have been keeping quietly in the shadows. It is saying the feeling you have been protecting inside yourself, the one you don't quite say out loud, it is valid, it is real, and it deserves to be brought into the light, because hiding it is not protecting you, it is holding you back. I feel like there is a version of what you want that you have been too careful to admit, even to yourself. The Moon is gently asking you to stop pretending you don't feel what you clearly deeply feel. Because the truth is, on your side of this, the investment is already there, the care is already there, the hope is already there. The next card is the Star. And wow, this one is genuinely beautiful for your energy right now. Because the Star is the card of hope, of quiet faith, of knowing deep in your soul that something good is making its way towards you. I feel like underneath all the uncertainty and all the questions, there is a part of you that genuinely believes in this, that believes in this person, believes in what has been quietly building, believes that the love here is moving somewhere real. The Star is that soft and steady flame inside you that has not gone out no matter what doubts have tried to blow it away. It is the part of you that woke up at some point and realized, I actually want a future with this person. Not just in passing, not just as a thought you quickly pushed away, but in the most honest version of yourself, for real. I feel like that realization has been sitting with you for a while and you haven't quite known what to do with it, because wanting something that much, something this permanent and this serious, it asks a lot of you emotionally. The next card here is the Three of Cups. And this one is showing me joy, real and genuine joy, connected directly to this person. There is a version of your future that this card is pointing at that looks full and warm and worth celebrating. I feel like when you imagine what life could look like with this person beside you, there is a lightness that comes through, a sense of yes, that is the direction I want to go, that is the version of life that feels right when I sit with it. The Three of Cups is saying your emotional self already knows what it wants. It has been painting the picture quietly for a while. You have had moments, small ones and big ones, where you looked at this person and thought, I could do this forever. That is not a small thing to feel, and the cards are absolutely not treating it as a small thing right now. Your feelings in this connection are deep. They are layered, they are hopeful, and they are completely real. There is a tenderness on your side that you may not have fully named for yourself yet, but it is there. It is clear. The cards are not showing a person who is uncertain, they are showing a person who feels a great deal. You are in this more than you may have openly admitted, and that is something worth sitting with. Now let's go deeper and see what is underneath this. Let's keep going and see what is here for you. Now we are moving into their side of this. What is actually happening inside of this person? What drives them? What holds them back? Because understanding their inner world, their fears, their patterns, their triggers is key to understanding this whole dynamic. Here is the first card for their energy, and I am pulling the Knight of Cups. And this one is very telling right away. The Knight of Cups is a deeply romantic energy. This is the person who feels everything, sometimes more than they know what to do with. I feel like this person leads with their heart, even when they are trying not to, even when they tell themselves they are being rational. They are the type who falls deep and falls quietly, who processes love in a very internal and private way. They don't announce what they feel, they sit with it, they turn it over, they let it build until they can't hold it inside anymore. That is what has been happening here. The feeling has been building inside of them slowly and steadily for longer than you may realize. The Knight of Cups is showing me a person who is genuinely romantic at their core, even if they don't always lead with that side of themselves. The next card here is the Six of Swords. And this one is showing me something really important about their patterns and their history. Because the Six of Swords is the card of moving away from turbulence, of leaving something painful behind, of choosing a calmer and safer shore. I feel like this person has been through something before this, something that taught them to be more careful with their heart. There may have been a relationship or a situation that left them more guarded than they naturally want to be. So when feelings this big started coming up around you, something in them got cautious, got slow, got very careful, not because they don't feel it, but because they feel it so much, and the fear of losing it is very real for them. The Six of Swords is saying they are in the process of leaving that old caution behind, of deciding to trust again. They are moving towards you emotionally, even if the pace has felt uncertain or uneven from where you are standing. There is intention in their movement, even when it looks like stillness from the outside. There is movement happening underneath. The next card here is the Hierophant, and this one is showing me their deeper motivations, what this person truly values at their core. Because the Hierophant speaks to commitment, to tradition, to the long view, to building something that genuinely means something, I feel like this person underneath all the surface layers believes in partnership, in loyalty, in building a life with the right person. This is not a person who wants something casual, even if they haven't always shown that directly or clearly. When they look at you, they are not seeing a temporary chapter. They are seeing something with a long and real horizon. The Hierophant is confirming that the word marriage, the idea of forever, is not something they throw around lightly or easily. When this person arrives at a feeling like that, it is because the foundation is already there, already solid, already decided. The next card is the Eight of Cups, and this one is showing me the trigger, the moment something shifted for them inside. Because the Eight of Cups is the card of walking away from what is no longer enough, of choosing more, of choosing depth over comfort. I feel like there was a moment at some point in this connection where this person looked at their life and thought, I want something real. I want something that lasts. I want the version of love that doesn't leave. And then they looked at you, that realization that you are the person they had been quietly looking for. That is what this card is pointing at directly. The trigger wasn't dramatic, it wasn't a grand moment, it was quiet and certain and completely internal. They looked at you and something clicked, something settled, something said, this is the one, this is what I have been waiting for. The last card on their side is the Page of Pentacles, and this is showing me how they are currently processing all of this. The Page of Pentacles is thoughtful, careful, methodical. This is someone who is planning, who is thinking about how to make something real. I feel like they are not just sitting in the feeling, they are actively thinking about how to bring it forward, how to say it, when their fear is not about whether they want this. Their fear is about whether they can say it the right way, at the right time. That vulnerability, that careful and enormous love sitting right alongside quiet self-doubt is exactly what the cards are showing on their side. This person is not playing games with you, they are just trying to find the courage to match what they feel. Now let's move into the next layer. Let's continue and see what the cards are showing. Now, this is the part I feel like a lot of you have been waiting for, because this is about what happens next. What is this person actually about to do? How does it come through, and what shifts inside this connection when it does? Here's the first card, and I am getting the Knight of Wands, and right away this is showing me movement, real and deliberate movement. The Knight of Wands is action energy. This is the card that says the waiting is ending. Something is about to break open. I feel like this person has been sitting in the feeling long enough, and something inside of them is ready to move now. There is a shift coming, a decision point where they stop letting the fear be louder than the love inside of them. The Knight of Wands doesn't sit still. It rides forward, it commits, it stops holding back and just goes for it. I feel like what is coming is an opening up a moment where this person lets you see what they have been carrying around. It may not come in a grand declaration, it may come quietly in a conversation in a moment that feels almost ordinary on the surface. But the intention behind it will be anything but ordinary, because what they are bringing is the full weight of what they feel. The next card is the Two of Wands, and this one is really specific about the energy that is building on their end right now. Because the Two of Wands is the card of vision, of planning, of standing at the edge of something and mapping what comes ahead. It shows a person thinking beyond the present moment, looking out at the horizon, considering what they actually want to build. I feel like this card is showing me that this person is not just sitting in their feelings. They are thinking about logistics. They are thinking about what a life together actually looks like, what it would take, what it would mean, how it could work. That is a very specific and very intentional kind of thinking. And the Two of Wands is saying it is already actively happening. They are not daydreaming casually. They are planning seriously. And that is a very different energy entirely. That is the energy of someone who has already made a decision internally and is now working out how to bring it forward. The next card here is the Judgment card. And this one is giving me a real feeling because of what it represents in this context. Because Judgment is the card of the Great Reckoning, the moment where something buried finally rises all the way to the surface. It is the card of I can't keep this inside anymore. I have to say it, I have to bring it into the open between us. I feel like Judgment is pointing directly at the moment this person finally stops holding the words back. The moment they look at you and stop editing themselves, stop calculating the risk, and just let the truth come all the way out, that moment is coming, and when it does, it is going to be clear and real and completely unmistakable. Judgment doesn't show up for small or casual conversations. It shows up when something life-changing is about to be spoken out loud. The next card is the World, and wow, this one is the confirmation card, the arrival card, the everything shifts card. The World is the card of completion, of a cycle reaching its fullness, of something finally becoming what it was always meant to be. I feel like this card is showing what opens up on the other side of this person's disclosure, what becomes possible after. Because when they finally bring this to you, when they say what they have been sitting with, something shifts permanently between you. The dynamic, the energy, the trajectory of this whole connection, all of it moves into a new and far more honest place. The World is saying that what comes after this conversation is not the same as what came before it. It is bigger, it is clearer, more aligned with what both of you genuinely want. I feel like the change that is coming is not just emotional, it is also practical, it is structural, it has real shape. Things are about to get more defined between the two of you, more intentional, more pointed in a real and clear direction. This person is about to show up in a way that makes their intention undeniable, and the cards say you will feel it clearly. The energy of drifting, of being unclear about where this is going, that energy is closing out. What is opening is something with more shape, more purpose. A foundation you can both actually stand on together. There is a sense here that both of you are on the edge of something, and this person is about to step forward first. The question is not whether they feel it. The cards are clear on that. It is simply when they find the words. The cards are saying that when is closer than you think, and the shift, when it arrives, will be unmistakable. Now let's keep moving and see what else is here. Now let's go ahead and continue. Now this part of the reading, this is the one that goes deep, because this is about what this person has never actually said out loud. The hidden confessions, the unspoken emotional truth, what lives underneath every word they have given you so far. Here is the first card, and I am pulling the Lovers, and honestly this placement is hitting really hard for me. Because the Lovers is not just a card about romance, it is a card about a sacred choice, a soul-level decision. I feel like this card is showing me what this person carries privately, when no one is watching, when they are alone with their thoughts. There is a version of you that lives in their mind, a very specific and detailed version that they have never described to you. The way you laugh, the way you say certain things, small moments that seemed insignificant to you but stayed with them completely. I feel like they have been quietly collecting pieces of you, holding onto them, returning to them when the world gets heavy. That is not something a person does casually. That is not something that happens unless someone has gotten very deep inside of you. The Lovers is saying that you are not just on their mind. You are woven into the fabric of how they move through their days. The next card is the Five of Cups reversed, and this one is showing me a hidden emotional truth they have not spoken. Because the Five of Cups reversed is the card of choosing to stop grieving, of turning toward what is still here rather than what was lost. I feel like this person at some point made a quiet internal decision, a decision to stop protecting themselves from you. There was a moment where they chose, without announcing it, to let you matter, to let this connection mean something real. That decision was not easy for them, given what their history has taught them, but they made it anyway. They chose you quietly and privately and fully, long before they found a way to say it out loud. The hidden confession here is that they have already committed to this in their heart. The words are just running behind. The next card is the Empress, and this one is showing me the physical and sensory side of what they feel towards you. Because the Empress is lush and embodied energy. This is desire, this is warmth, this is wanting to be close. I feel like there is a physical dimension to what this person feels that is just as strong as the emotional one. There is a pull they feel when you are near, a kind of awareness of you that is hard to name but very present. The Empress is the card of wanting to nurture, to hold, to build something warm and tangible with another person. I feel like this person imagines closeness with you in a very real way, not just abstractly, but in specific and tender terms. They think about what it would feel like to build a home with you, to share a life in the most ordinary and intimate sense. Mornings, evenings, the quiet in-between moments. Those are the things they have been imagining, and the Empress is confirming that. The next card is the Page of Cups, and this is showing me the thing they have never found the words for. Because the Page of Cups is innocent and open, this is the card of the purest and most unguarded version of a feeling. I feel like there is something this person wants to say to you that they have rehearsed and then swallowed back down again. Something along the lines of, you make me want to be better, you make the future feel worth it, you make me feel safe. That kind of vulnerability, that soft and open kind, is what lives at the center of what they carry for you. They haven't said it because it feels too exposed, too much, too real in a way that makes them feel like they could lose something. The last card here is the Sunday, and this one is the emotional truth that sits underneath everything we have seen today. Because the Sunday is pure joy, uncomplicated, and radiant, the kind of happiness that doesn't need any explanation at all. I feel like what this person has never fully said is simply this. Being with you makes them genuinely happy. Not complicated happy, not happy with conditions or asterisks, but the deep and quiet kind that settles in and stays. That is the truth they are sitting with, that you are someone who brings real light into their life without even trying. The Sunday is not showing conflict here, it is showing certainty, the kind that settles deep and doesn't waver. The hidden confession of this entire reading, the one underneath all the others, is that you already feel like home to them. That is one of the most meaningful things the cards can show in a reading like this. Every card in this part has been pointing at the same truth, a love that is full, private, and completely ready. Now, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, now let's see what is here. We are in the final stretch of this reading, and this is where we look at the near future, the advice, and the outcome of all of this. Here is the first card for the near future, and I am pulling the Six of Wands, and this one is a really good sign. The Six of Wands is the victory card, the card of recognition of something finally being seen and celebrated for what it truly is. I feel like this card is telling me that in the near future, something about this connection gets acknowledged in a real way. There is a moment coming, and it feels relatively close, where the energy between you two becomes more visible, more confirmed. Whether it is a conversation, an action, or simply a shift in how this person shows up, something is going to make itself known. The Six of Wands is saying that whatever has been quiet between you, it is coming up into the light soon. The next card is the Three of Pentacles, and this one is showing me the energy of collaboration, of building together. Because the Three of Pentacles is the card of two people putting their hands to something real, working toward a common vision. I feel like this card is pointing at a version of the near future where you and this person start moving in the same direction. Not just emotionally, but practically, there is a sense of aligning, of figuring out together what you are building, and how this is the card that shows up when something is being constructed, when a foundation is being laid with intention and care. I feel like the near future holds a deepening of the connection that is more tangible than what you have experienced so far. More grounded, more defined, more like something you can both actually see and touch and name out loud together. Now, the advice card here is the strength card, and I love this for you because of what it is really asking. Because strength in this position is not telling you to push or fight, it is telling you to hold your own calm and your own truth. It is asking you to trust what you know, to stay steady in who you are, and to not shrink in the face of this. I feel like the advice is simply let yourself be seen fully. Don't make yourself smaller to make this feel safer. This person is drawn to the real and full version of you, not the edited or managed version, but the actual one. Strength is also saying have patience with the pace of this, not because you have to wait indefinitely, but because good things are moving. Trust the love that you feel, trust what the cards have been showing throughout this entire reading, and stay open. The outcome card here is the Ace of Pentacles, and wow, this is one of the most grounded and promising outcome cards there is. Because the Ace of Pentacles is a new and real beginning, it is the card of something tangible being placed in your hands. It is not a vague promise. It is not energy floating around without direction. It is concrete, it is solid, it is real. I feel like the outcome of this connection, if both of you continue moving in the direction the cards have shown, is something lasting. Something that has a structure to it, something that you can build your life on, something that holds its shape over time. The Ace of Pentacles in the outcome position of a reading like this, with a message like the one we started with, is significant. It is the card saying, yes, this can become real. Yes, there is a foundation here. Yes, this is worth staying open to. The closing card is the Star, and I feel like this one was always going to be here because it is exactly what this reading needed. Because the Star is hope. It is the soft light that stays on even when everything else goes dark. It is the card that says, don't give up on this. Don't talk yourself out of what you feel. Don't close the door. I feel like the closing message of this entire reading is simply, this is real, this person is real, and what is coming is good. The love that we have been reading on today, the kind that quietly says, I want forever with you, that kind doesn't just disappear. It builds, it deepens, it finds its way to the surface when the time is right, and the time the cards are saying is coming. That is what the Star always comes to remind us, that the love you are hoping for is already on its way. Stay in that energy, stay open, stay patient with yourself and with this person, because the cards are not showing an ending. They are showing a beginning, the kind that starts quietly and grows into something you will one day be grateful you stayed open to. Whatever you are feeling right now, let it be hope, let it be openness, let it be the quiet certainty that you deserve this. Because you do, and the cards are absolutely confirming that something beautiful is making its way towards you. Take care of yourself. Trust the process, and thank you so much for being here for this reading today. We are in the final stretch of this reading, and this is where we look at the near future, the advice, and the outcome of all of this. Here is the first card for the near future, and I am pulling the Six of Wands, and this one is a really good sign. The Six of Wands is the victory card, the card of recognition of something finally being seen and celebrated for what it truly is. I feel like this card is telling me that in the near future, something about this connection gets acknowledged in a real way. There is a moment coming, and it feels relatively close, where the energy between you two becomes more visible, more confirmed. Whether it is a conversation, an action, or simply a shift in how this person shows up, something is going to make itself known. The Six of Wands is saying that whatever has been quiet between you, it is coming up into the light soon. The next card is the Three of Pentacles, and this one is showing me the energy of collaboration, of building together. Because the Three of Pentacles is the card of two people putting their hands to something real, working toward a common vision. I feel like this card is pointing at a version of the near future where you and this person start moving in the same direction. Not just emotionally, but practically, there is a sense of aligning, of figuring out together what you are building, and how this is the card that shows up when something is being constructed, when a foundation is being laid with intention and care. I feel like the near future holds a deepening of the connection that is more tangible than what you have experienced so far. More grounded, more defined, more like something you can both actually see and touch and name out loud together. Now, the advice card here is the Strength card, and I love this for you because of what it is really asking. Because strength in this position is not telling you to push or fight, it is telling you to hold your own calm and